Okay, minasan, konnichiwa, Zamurai Engineer desu. So in this live stream lecture, let us resume our discussion on DPWH order about material engineers. We are currently discussing about Chapter E or Part E. So we just finished item 306, so we would like to finish item 307 up to the end of the chapter 3. Okay, but before that, please sound check. Sound check, please. Okay, clear po, sir. According to Zyrene, shout out, Zyrene. So let us proceed with our resumption of resuming our discussion on chapter 3. So we are now on chapter 3, item 307, titled Bituminous Plant Mix Surface Course, General Provisions. So these are the rules. Number 1, batching plants. Scales shall be accurate to 0.5% of the maximum load that may be required, and the contractor shall have on hand, shall have on his position not less than 10 to 20 kilogram weights for testing the scales. Requirement for testing 10 to 20 kilograms. Batching plant accurate, for example, 0.5%. Okay, batching plants are not civil equipment, they are mechanical equipments, and look at the error accuracy. Okay, very high level of accuracy, less than 1%, actually 0.5%. okay, 1/2 of 1%. Okay, number 2, the temperature of asphalt cement delivered to the mixer shall be as required to achieve kinematic viscosity in the range of 150 to 300 square mm per second. Okay, kinematic viscosity of the material 150 to 300 square mm per second. Okay, at certain temperature. Okay, number 3, asphalt cement shall not be used while foaming, nor shall be heated above 159 degrees Celsius at any time after delivery in the project. Okay, next, number 4, aggregates for PIIE mill mixing shall be heated and PIIE mill. PIIE mill. Okay, I have to check this, if this is correct or not. This is the first time I encountered the word PIIE mill. PIIE mill. So PIIE mill is a machine apparently it is a machine in which clay or other materials are mixed into a plastic state, or a similar machine for the trituration of ore. Plastic state meaning not elastic. Take note, we already know what we mean by plastic. Okay? That is not elastic. So there are two regions, plastic and elastic region. So plastic state. Okay? So we mean pug mill is that kind of equipment, okay, that use clay and other materials, mixing them into a plastic state. So that is application of these pug mills are pottery, bricks making, and so on. So there is a pug mill. So first time I encounter pug mill. Okay. So mixing shall be heated and delivered to the mixing unit at temperature of about plus minus 17 degrees Celsius, and the moisture content of the mixture from drum dryer shall not exceed 3% of the output. Imagine the moisture content is being controlled at 3%. Okay? Tolerance. Okay? Shall not exceed 3% of the output. Okay? Imagine that. Okay? What more? When we are controlling the moisture content of the air inside our homes, just like we have discussed in our previous subject, previous course. Okay? When tar is used, placing and spreading of mixture shall be 66 to 107 degrees Celsius. Other materials will conform 107 degrees Celsius. Okay. Number 6, compaction. Rolling shall begin at the sides and proceeds longitudinally. Okay. This shall continue until the roller marks are eliminated. A rolling of this material, this would be the top of the pavement. So it must be rolled, and roller marks must be eliminated, and a minimum of 97% of the density required is attained. 97%. That is our geotechnical requirement. Acceptance, sampling, and testing of this. Letter A, core drill sample. Okay. Core drill sample at least 150 by 150 by 100 diameter, full depth. Okay. 150 by 150, then 100 diameter. Core drill sample. I don't know what do you mean by 150 by 150 by 100 diameter. Diameter is 100. But what do you mean by 150 by 150? The height of the drill sample, okay, is 150. What about the other 150? Okay? That's why it is confusing. It is confusing. If you have a cylindrical shape sample, the dimension should be only height and diameter. That's enough. No need for 3 dimension, because 3 dimension is only for rectangular and cube type of material. This is sample is cylindrical because it has a diameter. It is confusing. Letter B, at least 1 but not more than 3 samples shall be taken for each day. So 1 to 3 per day. So that's why we need about what? 10 to 20 kilograms of sample. Okay? If no samples were taken during the day, core samples shall be taken from the completed pavement for every 100. Okay, that's how we observe sometimes there are drilling on the what just finished pavement, they drill already. That is for sampling for every 100 meters per lane. So if the road highway is, for example, 1 kilometer project, road highway of 6 lanes, meaning 3 lanes for each direction. Okay, so 6 lanes, 100 meters per sample, therefore 1 kilometer there are 10, and 10 times 6, so 60. So 60 samples per day minimum. Okay, maximum times 3. Okay, 60 times 3, this is 180. Imagine, only for 1 kilometer highway, you need 180 samples, drilled sampling, core drilling. Okay, so that is the letter C provision. Okay, this one. Okay, if there is no sample taken during the day, core sample shall be taken from this is from, this is not form. Okay, this is from full of typo error. This document is full of typo error, and the quality of this presentation is not good. So that means every project engineer wants to have a sample during the day, for each day, so that you don't need to drill to the actual pavement. You don't need to drill to the completed pavement. You need to have a sample taken prior to this. Okay, so because you will repair it. You will repair it after you drill it, testing the samples. Then what happens to the pavement? There are holes. There are drilling holes. How many? 180 drilled holes in 1 kilometer. So you need to what? To immediately repair. Density should be equal or greater than 97% of the density of the laboratory specimen, and core shall not be accepted if deficiency in density is greater than 2%. Note, 2%. 2% tolerance is allowed, but not more. Okay. With respect to density, this is with respect to the compaction. Okay, 97% density of the core and the actual. So this is the criteria. This is a design criteria. Design criteria that the project engineer must meet in actual construction. Compacted pavement shall have a thickness tolerance of negative 5 mm. Thickness tolerance. So we usually use 150, and last week we found out some of the provisions use 200 mm per layer, but if course shall exceed 5 mm thick, it shall be rejected. So we are talking here of samples rather than the actual layer. So anyway, the samples came out from the actual layer. So, as you can see, 150, one layer. So, the allowable tolerance is negative 5 mm. Okay? However, the minimum additional asphalt overlay thickness should not be less than 50 mm, and proper procedures are to be followed. Okay? So, number 8, longitudinal joint in one layer shall offset that in the layer immediately below approximately 5 centimeter. Okay? Longitudinal 5 centimeter is 150 mm. Rather 15 centimeter is equal to 150 mm. That is about 6 inches. Okay? Longitudinal joint in one layer shall offset that in the layer immediately below. Okay? So, longitudinal joint. So, usually longitudinal joint are placed to separate, mark the separation of lanes in between lanes. So, if you see the longitudinal joint, that means one lane. Unit of measure is square meter based on thickness and density. Square meter. Then tolerance after job mix is established, but we need to understand passing sieve number 4, 7%. Passing sieve number 8 to number 10, 4%. Passing sieve number 200. So this is number, not null. This is number. Number 200, 2%. Okay? So these are the percent passing. Percent passing as we are discussing then on geotechnical. Temperature of mixture plus minus 10 degrees Celsius. Tolerance. Okay? So, item 308, bituminous plant mix surface under cold lay. Laying the material while in cold condition, not in hot condition. So, the previous item is general. So, what about cold lay? Number 1, asphalt mixture shall not be placed. Just to explain, asphalt is a type of bituminous material. Okay? Shall not be placed when the surface temperature of the base course is 10 degrees Celsius. Cold lake, 10 degrees Celsius. So, in our country, we are about 30 to 33 ambient temperature. So, 10 degrees Celsius is actually too cold. So, for example, in Baguio, the average temperature is could be as low as 6 degrees, but could be as high as 28. So, averaging about 20 to 24 degrees. Okay? So, compare that to 10 degrees. There are 3 types of rolling during compaction of the mix. Rolling, you can use the equipment, you can use the heavy equipment. In our local dialect, that is pison. You can use pison using steel wheel tandem. Tandem meaning there are 2 or 3 rollers. 3 roller or vibratory type of roller. So 3. In this In this equipment, 3 ruler is specified. So there is some pison that we call tandem. There are 3 rulers rather than 1. So the common one is the common heavy equipment is pison with 1 ruler. Intermediate rolling using pneumatic tired ruler. Pneumatics meaning the tire that you are using in jeepneys, bus, and so on. Those are the pneumatic tire. Okay. The rear end of the heavy equipment usually use pneumatic tires. Number 3, final rolling. If areas too small, vibrating place compactor, hand tamper have to be used or done by tandem smooth wheel ruler. Can be done compactor, hand tamper, or by tandem smooth wheel ruler. But this tandem smooth wheel ruler is actually an equipment that is hand operated. You have to push it by hand. Unlike the heavy equipment, which you have to drive. You have to drive it. There is a driver with a special license. Okay. So license code 7, no? Number 3, use choke aggregate to prevent mix pickup. Next, acceptance. There should be 6 laboratory specimens before acceptance. And the average densities of the 5 specimens should not be less than 97% and no individual be lower than 95%. The lowest must be 95% and the average 97% between them. After the 3-meter straight edge test, so that's why the foreman or the engineer is holding the 3-meter straight edge straight edge stick. Okay, the surface shall not vary more than 5 mm parallel to the center line and not more than 8 mm at right angles to the center line. So those are the criteria in judging the kind of work, the kind of project, finished result, okay, before acceptance should be proved or should be done. Okay. Next item, bituminous plant mix under stockpile maintenance mixture. Number 1, a combined aggregate after going through the dried shall have a sand equivalent value of not less than 40. It is what? I think there is a after going through drying. So after going to drying rather than after going to the dry. Okay. Shall have the sand equivalent value of not less than 40. Number 2, the proportion of bituminous material based on total dry aggregate shall be from 4 to 10 mass percent for hydrate line shall be added to the mixture during mix operation in amount of 0.5 to 1 mass percent. So 0.5% to 1%. Okay. So key points for proportioning of mixture. Item numbers and description. Next column, proportioning of the material. Then amount of hydrated lime to be added. So from the code, from the standard, 0.5 to 1%. These are all in terms of percent. In terms of percent. Proportion, 5 to 8. If you are dealing with item 307. Okay. Item 309, 4 to 10. Item 310. hot late 5 to 8. Okay, here 4 to 10. So we are currently item 309. Item 309, 4 to 10. Okay, but we have item 310, hot late. So therefore, we know that this item is wrong because this is supposed to be 310, not 313. So this is a very critical document and there are full of errors in this document. This is a standard, this is a rule and regulation, and there are full of typo errors. Item 310, rock asphalt hot late. Rock asphalt as furnished shall contain 8 to 135 bitumen. So 135 again is wrong. Okay, this is the correct one. 5 to 8. 5 to 8. So there are full of errors in this document. Item 310, Portland and cement concrete pavement. So I will this is what we mean by PCCP. PCCP, Portland cement. Okay, pavement. Material requirement. Of course, Portland cement. Type 1, Portland cement shall be used, but type 1P, Portland pozzolan cement can be an alternative. Okay? Shall be obtained in accordance with ASTO T127 standard. Okay? Number 2, fine aggregates. So these are the components of PCCP. Cement, fine aggregates, coarse aggregates, reinforcing bars. Okay? So fine aggregates. So how many types of cement actually? Let's just go back. There are 5 types of cement. There are 5 types of Portland cement classified in the code. Okay? Again, let's go back to fine aggregates. Weight loss shall not exceed 10% when subjected to 5 cycles of sodium sulfate soundness test. 5 cycles. Loss must not exceed 10%. Okay? Shall not contain more than 3 mass percent of material passing 0.075 mm or sieve 200. Okay? Meaning, this is the smallest. This is the smallest sieve. Okay? 200. This is smallest sieve. We are studying in geotechnical, smallest one. Okay? 0.075 mm for sand aggregate. Okay? By washing or more than 1%, okay, of clay limbs or shale. Okay? That is a limitation. Imagine very little, small amount allowed. Okay? But for fine aggregate sand, 3%, no? Only must pass. Okay? That means 3% is smaller than this. Okay? But 97% is larger than this. Okay? And less than 6 mm. Okay? Coarse aggregate shall not contain more than 1% of material passing. Okay? Coarse aggregate 1%. So fine aggregate 3%. Okay? But not more than 0.25 mass percent of clay lumps. Okay? So this is 1%, this is 0.25%. So 3.5 of soil fragments. Okay? That is for coarse aggregate. Number 4. Reinforcing steel bars, dowel bars. Okay, so dowel bars are being used particularly for joints. Okay, for joints. Reinforcing steel bars shall be plain round bars. They are not usually deformed bars. So for highway and roads, usually plain round bars and not deformed bars. Tie bars shall be deformed bars though. So tie bars. Okay. So main bars is plain round bars. Okay. That is according to the rule. Okay. That is according to the rule. Because these dowel bars are connecting across, connecting the highway components across the joints. That's why we need them to be plain. Otherwise, there would be so much cracking. There must be so much crack that could be noticed along the joints. Wire mesh. Okay, so what about wire mesh? The diameter of wire mesh for lateral and longitudinal direction shall not be less than 6 mm. 6 mm is the size of the sun, and less than 6 mm. Okay, and weight not less than 3 kilos. Okay, where the spacing of the lateral is twice wider than that of longitudinal. The tie wire shall be number 16. So, what do you mean by this? Weight 3 kilograms, 0 SPM. I think this is wrong. I think this is wrong. I think this is supposed to be 3 kilograms per meter. Oh, this is wrong. Full of errors in this document. So, what about admixture? Okay, what about admixture? So admixture, fly ash as mineral, admixture can be permitted. Fly ash can be permitted but not exceeding 20%. Partial replacement of Portland cement in what? Concrete mixture. Curing materials. Burlap cloth, AASTO M182. That is the rule, standard. Liquid membrane forming compound. Another standard, M148. Sheeting film materials, AASTO M171. So, it is defined in this design criteria that those type of materials must follow certain rules and standards. Curing materials, burlap cloth, liquid membrane, sheeting materials. Even those things have to follow the standard. Okay? And next, number 8, calcium chloride or calcium nitrate as accelerator. Okay? Curing accelerator. Storage of cement in aggregates. We need sampling of cement shall be at least 12 days prior to usage. So, this is again typo error. Okay, sampling of cement. Okay, proportioning, consistency, and strength of concrete. Okay, design mix based on absolute volume method as outlined in the American Concrete Institute Standard 211.1. Recommended practice for What happened? Number 10. Proportioning, consistency, and strength of concrete. So, design mix based on absolute volume method as outlined in ACI standard. So, ACI meaning is about reinforced concrete. Okay. Recommended practice. Okay. Required at least 364 kilograms of cement per cubic meter of concrete. 1 cubic meter of concrete requires minimum of 364 kilos. 364 kilos. 1 bag of cement is 40 kilos. So divide by 40. How many of this? This is divide by 4. This is 9, no? 9 bags. More than 9 bags of cement per cubic meter. So use 10 bags because this is the minimum. 9 bags is minimum, so use 10 bags per cubic meter. 10 bags of cement, 1 bag is 40 kilos. For every cubic meter of concrete. To meet the minimum strength requirements. Workable concrete slab. Okay. We already talked about the slab measurement. Okay. 40 to 75 mm if not vibrated and between 10 to 40 if vibrated. So we already talked about the slab test. Okay, 75 is 3 inches. So 40 is about 1.5. 1.5 to 3 inches if vibrated. If not vibrated, and 10 to 40 mm. So 10 is about 1/2. 1/2 inch to 1.5 inch if vibrated. Okay? That is slab test. So in our building code, that is 1 to 4 or 2 to 4 inches slab allowable. Okay, flexural strength of not less than 3.8 megapascal. Okay, flexural. When tested by third point and 4.5 MPa when tested by midpoint. Third point meaning there are 2 concentrated load. There are 2 test location, and midpoint there is only 1 test location. So the concentrated load is at the midpoint. The concentrated load at the third point. So there are 2 third points from each edge. Okay, So, and 24.1 megapascal compressive strength. So, take note of this compressive strength requirement. 24. Okay. So, when we measure it at what? 14 days. The measurement at 14 days. Slump shall be determined using ASTO T118. ASTO. So, next. Construction material requirements. So, we have quality control of concrete. How to control the concrete? Vibrator shall operate at a frequency of 8,300 to 9,600 impulse per minute under load at maximum spacing of 60 centimeter or 600 mm. Okay, so this is a requirement so that we do not have honeycomb, to avoid honeycomb. Okay. Form shall not deviate. So this is another typo error. This is form. Shall not deviate from true line by more than 1 centimeter at any point. Okay. Handling, measuring and batching material. Tolerances and batching may be under 1% for cement, 2% for aggregate, and not more than 1% for water. So cement and water, 1%. Aggregate, 2%. Tolerance. Take note of the required accuracy here. Okay. Mixing concrete, overload up to 10% above the mixer's normal capacity may be permitted, provided no spillage and satisfactory test data for strength, segregation, and consistency are attained. 10%. Okay. Flow of water shall be uniform and all water shall be in the drum by the end of the first 15 seconds of the mixing period. Even the process itself, there is a procedure. 15 seconds, within the first 15 seconds, the water must be there in the drum. Okay? The time elapsed from the time water is added to the mix until the concrete is deposited in place at the site shall not exceed. Another typo error. This is shall not exceed 45 minutes. Take note, 45 minutes. Okay? From the time the water is added to the mix until such time that this is being placed. 45 minutes. This is the acceptable. This is a very critical and is being followed right now. Being followed. Number 4, limitation of mixing. Whether ambient temperature shall not exceed 32 degrees Celsius. Okay? I said 30 to 33 is the ambient, so 32. Concrete not in place within 90 minutes shall not be used. That is a waste of concrete. If you are 90 minutes delay, that is not used. So after pouring in, so within 45 minutes, it is in the site. The mixture must be in the site, and 90 minutes placed already on the road. Okay, so it must be placed already within 45 to 90 minutes. So you must be receiving the delivery maximum 45 minutes, and after another 45 minutes, 45 is 90. it must already be placed. Okay. So, number 5, placing of concrete. Vibrator shall not operate longer than 15 seconds in any location. So, per location, 15 seconds, 15 seconds, and so on. Any location, point to point. Point to point. 15 seconds and 15 seconds. Test specimens. At least one set consisting of 3 concrete beam specimen, beam type of specimen. So this is beam type, 150 by 150 by 525. 525 is the length. Okay? Shall be taken from each 330 square meters of pavement. So for every 330 square meter, one set of 3. One set of 3. 3 samples shall be taken. 230 depth or proximity rope and cylinder sample shall not be used as substitute. So cylinder sample cannot be used here. We need beam type of sample. Okay, 525 mm. Joints. Okay, so transverse construction joint. Transverse construction joint. Weakened plane joint. The depth should at all times not be less than 50 mm. The width should not be more than 6 mm. Say between 2 24. 2 to 24 hours. Okay. Constructed when there is an interruption of more than 30 minutes in the concrete. Transverse construction joint. Transverse meaning not longitudinal. So longitudinal and transverse. Transverse is across. Letter C, load transverse device. That is dowel. We are transferring the load to the next element, but we need the joint, so that we need what? Plain steel bars. So dowel should be painted with 1 coat of lead or tar, and sleeve shall be metal designed to cover 50 mm plus minus 5 mm of dowel, and with suitable stop to hold the end of sleeve at least 25 mm from the end of the dowel. Final strike off, consolidation and finishing. Hand operated the longitudinal float shall not be less than 365 cm in length. So 3 meters and 3.65 meters. 15 cm meaning 150 in width. Final strike off. Final finishing, grooving. The corrugations produced, the surface shall be uniform in appearance and groove shall not be more than 1.5 meters in depth. Grooves. And regardless of the method used, the hardened surface pavement shall have a coefficient of friction equal to 0.25. So the top of the pavement should have this friction to avoid slippage, slippery roads. No? Grooves shall not be more than 1.5 meters in depth. Okay. It's very deep. So grooves. Surface test. Pavement surface shall be tested with 3 meters straight edge. Area showing high spots of more than 3 mm but not exceeding 12 mm in 3 shall be marked and ground blown pavement surface. 3 meter straight edge, so you are what? Looking at the surface with high spots, not more than 3 mm. Or more than 3 mm, but not exceeding 12 mm. So 3 to 12. It can easily be observed using the 3 meter straight edge. Curing. Concrete shall not be left exposed for more than an hour between the stages of curing and during curing period. So following curing will be applied burlap mats or burlap cloth, waterproof paper, straw curing. So using straw, put it on top of the pavement, impervious membrane method, and white polyethylene sheet. Okay, to what? To maintain the moisture level and maintain the what? The homogeneous curing of the whole cross section of the road at the same time. 11. Acceptance of concrete. Okay. Strength level of concrete will be considered satisfactory if the averages of all sets of 3 consecutive strength tests result equal or exceed specified strength FC prime. If no individual result is deficient by more than 15%. Okay. So we are testing the FC prime. Every test must be within 15%. One set shall consist of a minimum of 3 specimen, beam type specimen. Okay, so average strength of the core is equal to or at least 85%. And there's no single core less than 75% of the specified strength. So we have the following table. Percent efficiency, okay, of concrete specimen. So in terms of thickness, on the other, this is in terms of thickness. In terms of strength, price allowed in the contract. Efficiency, we have the percent. Less than 5, so 100%. So there's no payment, meaning there's no payment, zero payment. Okay, if 25 or more, so price allowed. Rather, this is 100% payment, this is zero payment, out of the contract. So if you have deficiency of 5 to 10%, 80% of contract price. So 10% to 15% deficiency in terms of strength, 70%. So in terms of strength, okay? Important here is 5 to 10. So less than 5%, you have the full price. What about deficiency in thickness? 0 to 5 mm, 100%. 5 mm is the threshold. Okay? 5% and 5 mm, threshold. Okay, so opening to traffic should be done after material testing and specified strength is obtained or no less than 14 days. So minimum 14 days. Pavement thickness for barangay road, implementing as 1 kilometer of pavement when a single traffic lane is pulled or 500 linear meters when 2 lanes are pulled concurrently. Okay, so for 1 lane, 1 kilometer. For 2 lanes, half kilometer. So this is about the tolerances in pavement. So this is number 13. Okay. Core test. A lot shall be considered 1 kilometer when a single traffic lane is pulled 500 linear meters when two lanes are pulled. So each lot will be divided into 5 equal segments and 1 core will be obtained from each segment. So minimum test requirement, item number 300, 300. So this is what? The tabulated details. Okay. So what are the type of testing? So there are 7 type of testing. 1G, 1P, 1C, 1Q. Okay, so those are the type of testing. 1D, that is the density test. So this is a table that summarizes what we have been discussing starting from last week. Okay. So we discussed this up to what item 310. So item 310. Okay, so that's all about this document. We are through with chapter 3. So instead of going through chapter 4, we will stop it here and let's look at the foundation. We do not have foundation for bridge, so we will just take a look at the foundation for buildings, okay, rather than bridge. So we don't have the document for bridge. Supposedly, there is a very critical difference between building and bridge foundation. But anyway, let us just familiarize ourselves. And also, when we take a look at the foundation for building, it is related also to foundation for bridge, but also related to other courses in civil engineering, like reinforced concrete. So that's why let's stop our discussion of the blue book after chapter 3. So we are through with chapter 3. We do not have a good presentation material, so we will adjust our presentation material, edit, make it better before discussing it further. So right now, let us stop unless you have any questions. So there are no questions, so please give me about 5 minutes to set up to the next live stream. Thank you. See you on the next live stream that will immediately commence after this in about 5 minutes. Again, this is Dr. AP, preaching engineering for nations.